I'm proud to introduce our next speaker, Jane Cadwallader, and she has joined us today, and she has been a teacher and writer for many years, particularly interested in how she engages children in extensive reading. As a result, she has written many graded readers which aim to capture children's imagination and a sense of humour. Furthermore, she has increasingly combined her writing with works on children's rights, particularly the right to social development and the right to education. She now spends about half of her year in Uganda working with the local government and local professionals to improve the lives of children in a small rural district in Western Uganda. She still finds time to enjoy teaching and writing and to come to webinars such as today. So welcome, Jane.
Thank you very much.
I should stop sharing and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much for inviting me. It's a real pleasure. I've been listening. I had my video and my microphone off, but I've been listening to all the presentations and I've really enjoyed them. It's great. It's very nice to be invited and well done for this initiative. I think it's great. Come on, let's get extensive reading into Europe. So I think it's a really great initiative. Okay, I hope this is not going to be very. Let me just see. Let me see if I can get my presentation here. Can you see that? Can you see?
Yeah,
everybody see clear. Okay. Yep. All right. I'm going to talk about something which is very close to my heart, which is. I know there's only 6 years left, so I really feel we should make those 6 years really work. I want to suggest a framework for including SDGs in activities based on readers for young children. We're going to look at how that could work, intrinsic awareness, because very young children, I don't think it's better if it's intrinsic. It's something that to make them aware of the issues that are raised in the SDGs. And then later on, to look at the explicit knowledge of the goals and the aims of the goals. And at the end, a quick look at language, because in the end, we are language teachers. So this is like a way of using, rather like in the previous presentation, which I really enjoyed, and also the one about cell, it's like using English to guide children through readers to look at the wider world. My framework is ABC in reverse, BCA. So it's to create interest, build knowledge, and inspire action. So if we look at the intrinsic awareness, we can create interest through a story. Like this story, it's like Michael was saying, to see things through the eyes of a character. In this Rumble Dumble and the Storm, there's a terrible storm which ends up in a flood, which if you're watching the news, you'll know there's going on in China at the moment. I mean, there are floods, more and more floods around the world. And Rumble Dumble is very big. And because he's very big, he's a very big help. And he helps the villagers and rescues them along with he gets some help from the firefighters, but he helps to rescue the villagers. So having aroused, sort of created interest in this thing of floods and storms, you can build knowledge by showing children different types of storms. It's interesting. I didn't know all of this. Some storms start over the sea, some start over land. But what is certainly true is that storms are becoming more frequent and more violent because of climate change. So we can help children to learn a bit more about storms, and then to inspire action, we'll get them to do a little quiz to find out if they're champions of climate change, climate action. So they do this little quiz to find out how much they do to help the world. Okay, so they use plastic bags All right, so that's one example. Here's another example. This is about the importance of bees. There's an extraterrestrial who comes to Earth and discovers bees, and it's like loves them and is intrigued by these little fluffy things. And he meets some Earth children who talk to him about the importance of bees for our world. And then the farmers come along and dig up the bees' flowers and also start spraying pesticides. I have to tell you that the story ends happily, but we don't have time in the 20 minutes to look at how that happens. So we get the children interested in bees. Then we can build knowledge by giving them more information about bees, finding out what they know and building on it. And so they learn more things about bees. I did this actually in Uganda, where people are not aware of the importance of bees at all. So it was very interesting for the kids. And then to inspire action, we can get them to plant flowers which are bee friendly. It's quite interesting, actually. I'm at the moment, I'm neither in Spain nor in Uganda. I'm in Ireland, and I just bought a packet of seeds that is specially for bees, like they're flowers that bees like. So I don't know whether this is a bit. Is this going over the? Let me just see if I can move that. I don't know quite what that's doing there. Okay, let me just see if I can get. Oh, what have I done? Oh goodness, that was not a good idea. Let me get rid of this. Then, so that's like when you're working with children, younger children, when what you're doing is getting them interested in issues that affect the world. And I mean, Vanessa and Donatella talked about this. I mean, they didn't actually relate it to the SDGs, but they did relate it to the environment. And so then, but not actually specifically mentioning the Sustainable Development Goals. Then you can also, with slightly older children, you can work on actually making them aware of the Sustainable Development Goals. And probably the best way to create interest is to ask them, as I did. I was recently in Uganda, and I just asked children, what problems are there where you live? Like, what problems are there in your life, in your environment? And this is what they said. Okay, I've kind of put a transcript at the bottom, because Ugandan English is not the same as British English. So just so that you understand what they're saying. Sorry.
Many people cut down trees and drain swamps to grow crops. Well, and when gender comes, then there is what we call equity. Still, they are not being treated with a lot of equity in their lives. They are not put at the same standard.
For me, what I'm saying that it's wrong in the world, it is unemployment, whereby many jobs are interrupted in with corruption, where the people serve jobs to their tribemates, and those ones who have money, the ones who get jobs in this world.
And lastly,
the climate is changing in the way that sunshine is received. Rainfall is no longer received in the area, and many people are getting sort of food.
Okay, so you can see that the children are very aware of the problems which they have in their village, in their area. What they don't know is that actually those problems are shared by many other communities in the world. Building knowledge about the SDGs, you can do by choosing and discussing photos. These are two free platforms where you can download photos, and you want to to use those to check and teach vocabulary that is going to be useful when they actually start looking at the SDGs. So it's good to actually put this poster with the Sustainable Development Goals actually up in the classroom. In fact, in one school in Spain, I saw a really great idea where they'd cut them in strips, and they'd put the strips on the stairs. So, you know, as you went up on the bottom of the following stair, on the kind of base of it, you'd see these squares with the SDGs on them, which is a great way of just surrounding the children with the knowledge that these goals exist. Then they can learn some of the goals and their aims. So the obvious thing is to match the goal and the aim. I've been using a lot recently word wall. I don't know if you know word wall, but it's great because it's like got lots of, it's like a games to practice language. And this is a game where you get a sentence and you have to click the right goal. So everyone can go to school, you click. I can't see the chat box, but I'm sure you're all saying good quality education. Okay, so there's a little thing down here which says edit content. I don't know if you can see, I don't know whether you can see can you see my pointer?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right, it says edit content. So you click on that and you put in the goals and the aims. These are very simplified aims. So goal, no hunger, everyone has enough food to eat. Everyone has enough money to live. So you put in the aims of each goal. And then you press done. If you want, you can also click here and choose whether you want this in English accent or an American accent. So you can actually also do it so it's a listening activity at the same time. Then you go back and there's another one. So then the game comes up, and you can download it and play it on your whiteboard. Another very good way of practicing the goals and the aims is to use board games. So because there's two parts of it. So you can do bingo, you can do snap, happy families, you know, you can use, or the children can make up their own board games. And if you would like more details on how to play these games with the SDGs, Carol Reed, in Developing Children's Understanding of the Global Goals, in the British Council publication of Global Issues in the Creative English Language Classroom, there's some more ideas there, and also how to play the board games. Okay, so then another very valuable thing is to go back and discuss the videos. So you go around with your telephone and you ask children, okay, what do you think are the problems in our society where we live? And they tell you, and you film them, and then you can go back and discuss the videos. So in this case, many children don't go to school because of poverty. So that, and then you can say to the children, okay, look at the poster. Which global goals does that link with? And it's no poverty and quality education. Very often, the problems in the world, they're linked to more than one sustainable development goal. So in this case, there's no poverty and quality education are linked together. Many people cut down trees and drain swamps. Okay, so that goes with, I can't see the chat box. I hope you're putting things in, but anyway, life on land and climate action, the two global goals. And then gender, obviously, gender equality. And this one, which is very interesting, decent work and economic growth is what is the link to that one. And this one, climate action. So you can see, you know, and I'm sure it's the same with children in Italy or in Spain. Spain is where I taught most of my life. So I'm sure that if you asked children what the problems were, you would find that it would be very similar. They would tell you the same, maybe they're not the same problems because this is Africa, but they would tell you. And I think what's valuable about teaching them, whether they're in Spain or in Uganda or in Italy, is actually these things are not just where you live. It's they're global issues and global problems. Then you can link, when you read readers, you can link them to specific social sustainable development goals. So this Harriet Holmes, you know, Sherlock Holmes, the books Sherlock Holmes are very masculine. There's Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson, and you know, but this is about Sherlock Holmes's daughter, as is out of copyright, and she's the heroine. She's the one that resolves the mysteries. So it's gender equality. You know, that it's a girl that's the main protagonist. Our Water, Our World obviously is clean water and sanitation. And this My Bolivia, see, this is interesting because it links in actually very much with what Vanessa and Donatella were talking about, teaching values of tolerance and respect. Because, you know, we don't like what we don't know. You know, if the children read about a child in another culture that's different to theirs, and they read about it and they feel close to them because they're seeing through seeing, as Michael says, they're seeing through the eyes of that character. You know, it helps them to develop tolerance and respect for other cultures. So it's to quality education. I think it's target 7 is interest in different cultures and cultural diversity, and obviously peace. You know, I think if we all knew more about those poor people who are trying to get over the channel at the moment in small boats from France to England, maybe we would have more tolerance for them. Anyway, start with the children. This one is also quite interesting because this is sustainable cities and communities, because this is like, do you remember during COVID, and there were all those videos of those animals in our streets? Do you remember? You know, it was just amazing how many animals there actually are that are hidden, but that when we get off the streets, they get on the streets. And this is about cohabiting with animals and respecting them and giving them distance, because bears are dangerous. I mean, last week, I don't know if you saw it, but there were some people who were actually mauled by a bear. So it's like, this is a book about kind of respecting animals, giving them distance, and cohabiting with them. Anyway, so inspiring action, quick. Right, the keywords are invent, innovate, campaign. So here, they can design their own icons for the SDG, which they can present to the rest of the class, and the rest of the class have to guess which SDG it represents. They can even make an art exhibition of their SDGs. They can write a list of things they can do at home and at school, and make a poster, video, or big book to share with other classes. So they can design a project relating to one of the global goals. And here you see, I don't know if you can see this well, but these are plastic bottles. This was made in Uganda, where the secondary school, one of the secondary schools, had a project to reuse, recycle and reuse and waste. And so what they've done is they've stuck the top of the bottle into the top of another bottle, and they've tied around it. And this is a rubbish bin where they put the rubbish. So they've made a rubbish bin out of used plastic bottles. And they can write a letter, petition a politician about a local issue related to a global goal. So those are all things which older children, maybe at the end of primary, beginning of secondary, can do in order to inspire action. I just wanted to say that this is, you know, these are, it's not that we're doing something totally unrelated to our classwork. These is the basic tenses, modals a lot, comparative superlatives, giving opinions, agreeing, half conditioning, the conditionals. So it's not something that we do apart from our language work. It's something we do coming out of readers in order to use language to widen children's perspectives. I wanted to give you these, if you just like to take a photograph of that, these are kind of videos which you might like to show your children about the global goals. Okay, and then that's it. Thank you. But hope I kept within my time. If there are any questions, I'd be very happy to answer them at the end. Okay, thank you.
That's perfect timing. Thank you, Jane, for
Okay.
stepping in there. It was lovely to hear all of your ideas, and really just the SDGs is the connecting with Word Wall as well, just keeping it fresh in young people's minds is really, really important. Thank you so much.